Team YouTube, what is happening, dudes? Efficient in the Field has a new video for y'all today. I hope you guys are well, working on your preps and training in your spare time and stuff like that. That's a little bit of what I'm doing today in addition to this video and ranch chores. I put a new swept back bolt handle on my Ruger American Ranch, and I'm excited to get out there and practice some rapid firing with my bolt action. Yes, I know. Some of you guys right now are like, why don't you just get a semi-automatic, bro? I have some semi-automatics. I do. But if you live miles from the asphalt and concrete in a gnarly place, which I actually prefer to live in a gnarly place, guys, because there's less people. And no one's going to make it out here and shit hit the fan, man. They're not going to even bother to walk down the road because it's too damn gnarly. And if you live in a place like I do, where the wind will blow so much dirt up that it will literally clog up a semi-auto from running, man, you rely on these things called manually operated firearms a lot. And I still like them just for that reason, especially out here. And so having a bolt action with me a lot of the time, I do want to be able to cycle it as rapidly as possible. And for those of you that don't know, a swept back bolt handle allows you to get your middle finger right on the trigger after you cycle that bolt to the rear. Very easy to line up your middle finger. If you try and do it with a normal handle on most bolt actions, it's hard. It's hard to find the trigger guard and the trigger. It's like way back behind the bolt. It's odd, you know? So doesn't work that well and really slows you down. So these swept back handles really speed that up. It's going to be fun to test it out. I'm going to do it when I'm done with the video, but I still need to break in this bolt. This rifle's probably only got a few hundred rounds through it, and the bolt's it's kind of gritty, man. You know, it's not really smooth yet, so I'll probably work on that as well in the next couple weeks to get a little smoother. But yeah, excited about that. That's what's going on. But we need to talk about something that's really important. I was having a conversation on the phone with a guy named John Bell. He's got a YouTube channel out there, Harbinger Report, and he talks about conspiracy truths. And let's be real, dudes, over the last few years, a lot of things that were considered to be conspiracy theories, we found out that they're legit, right? Like it's true stuff. And I'm probably going to end up on his podcast here in the next week, in case you're interested. But at any rate, dudes, I was talking to him, and he mentioned that he'd been wanting to make the move to off-grid living and like homestead. And he said in this conversation that he feels like he missed the window. And I had to agree with him, and it's something I've been thinking about for a few months. And when it came out of my mouth, when I said to him, bro, you did miss the window. It's too late now. Hunker down until March and then revisit. When I said that, I was like, man, I need to talk about this on my channel. I'm surprised I haven't done it. I might have mentioned it in an info dump on my Patreon because I just talk about all kinds of stuff. I've got twice as much video every week coming out on Patreon just for patrons than I do on YouTube and TikTok. That's the way it is, guys. They help fund the channel, so boom, I'm always answering their questions and stuff like that. Check out the description and my Patreon link if you're interested in getting like direct feedback from me. All right, but I'm going to talk about it today on the channel, and that's where I think we are right now and what we need to be doing here over the next 7 to 8 months. If you've been paying attention, you will have seen that what's going on in the world today at large and in the West and all of it, man, like everything between Ukraine, NATO, and Russia, right? Because we know NATO is totally involved. What's going on between Israel and just about everybody else surrounding them in the Middle East and America again, because we just can't stop, can we? We just can't mind our own fucking business. And it's not us as Americans, but it's the damn people that we allow to run this country. It's them. And and them lining the pockets of their homeboys with constant wars and bullshit like that. Well, let's just call it what it is, dudes. My opinion might not be popular, but you know what? When you start really paying attention and really start thinking this shit through from the start to finish, man, and follow the money, you'll see that that's what this is really about. No, we're not fighting for our freedoms in Iraq. We're not doing that shit, man. We're not fighting for our freedoms in Afghanistan. Bullshit. Bullshit, man. Come on. If we were going to be fighting for our freedoms, it's like, holy shit, let's put some new people in political office. Because those are the people fucking you out of your freedoms. Your elected officials. Not some dude living in a cave in Afghanistan. All right? I'm getting off topic. Let me get back on topic here, dudes. Everything going on in the world is crazy. It's crazy right now. The shit that occurs in 1 month is the same amount of crazy-ass events that would have occurred in like 10 years prior to 2020. It's just balls to the walls, you know? And it's leading to something big. It's leading to something really big. Now, my own thoughts about this, having been a survivalist for 40 years, and we're talking back when I was like single digits and shit. And I didn't really think about it this way then and when I was a kid. But when I was a young man, I figured that if they were ever going to make a big move to take control of this country, if we were ever to find ourselves in a situation where martial law was enacted, and you name it, guns are confiscated, people are put in camps that don't agree with the powers that be. Whatever it's going to be, man, you pick it, right? But martial law gets enacted and we have part of the government that is basically seizing power in this country. If that was ever to happen, I always figured that it would happen in the fall or in the beginning of winter. And the reason is, dudes, is because it's too late to run out and put seeds in the ground. Too late, man. You know, if you didn't stock up and if you don't have the food supplies and the water supplies and everything else you need, you don't have it all stockpiled and ready to go, you are shit out of luck, man. Because at the wintertime, oof. And if you look at the natural cycle of things, the winter is a time of death. That's what it is. It's a time when the animals that were too weak to eat well and to take care of themselves well throughout the summer and fall, they die. That's just how it is, dudes. There's a cycle of death and rebirth throughout the year. And the wintertime is a cycle of death. And dudes, I'm not into fear-mongering on this channel. By the way, you guys probably know that, especially if you've been watching my videos for a while. I'm not into fear-mongering. This channel is about producing results. It's a results-oriented channel, guys. The goal here is that I can help share information that's going to help you get ready and help you stay prepped. And this, right now, the tip I'm about to tell you guys, and the main content of this video, is definitely 80-20. It's part of the 20% that could very well produce 80% of the results for you. There's always a what if. We don't know for sure that anything is going to kick off around this next election, either before it or after it. But what we do know right now is that you have sitting politicians in Congress that have discussed and planned to allow the Republican right to vote for Trump, and then they intend to vote and disenfranchise all the voters by declaring Trump ineligible to be president. Okay, that's just one of the many things that's going on, dudes. One of thousands. Okay? So I feel like, and I've never felt like this in my entire life, that the next 7-8 months are going to be pivotal in American history. Either the good side is going to win and it could still lead to violence. Or because the leftists, the progressive left, the far left guys, they're a bunch of 2-year-olds, man. They are going to throw a temper tantrum if the right wins. That's what's going to happen. Cities are going to burn. Riots are going to happen. They're going to throw a damn temper tantrum. All right, and everyone on the right's going to sit back and just try not to involve themselves in it. The police forces are just going to let it happen, right? Because they're all in big Democrat-run cities that want that. Crazy. I know, crazy. But so even if the right wins, you're going to see some level of violence. And I'm going to say that it's going to be worse than what we've seen over the last few years with George Floyd riots and all that kinds of shit. All right. On the flip side, if the left wins, the right may have lost because they were disenfranchised. They had their candidate made ineligible after casting their votes. Or there was no peaceful exchange of power, and now the right feels like it's in a situation where it has to take it. There's a lot of things that could happen. There's a lot of ways this could play out, guys. But what does it mean to you as a survivalist or a prepper? What does it mean? Here's what it means. Hunker down. Hunker down, pimps. Right now is not the time to make big changes. If you wanted to run off and buy a piece of property and homestead on it, you know what? Too late right now. Too fucking late, man. You missed the window. Everybody, I think, needs to examine their own situation, just like always on this channel, guys. You guys know I carry a bolt-action rifle around all the time in a day and age where semi-automatics are pretty damn reliable and all over the place. I do it for a reason, obviously, because my situation is different than most people. And that's what you have to look at, guys. You have to look at your own situation. Some of you are in great places financially, and you can literally spring for a turnkey off-grid property, pack all your shit in Ryder trucks, boom, you're there, you're moved in less than a week, and you're ready to go. If that's you and that's the plan that you're looking at, you know what? I'd say go ahead still. Go ahead, man. Pull the trigger on that shit. But for the majority of us, the easy way to make a big change to country living and to get off grid takes a lot of work on your own to get it done. There's just not that many off-grid properties that are turnkey for sale anymore. And the ones that aren't cheap. And are they what you really think they are? Have you lived off-grid? Do you have the experience to look at a turnkey situation and be like, oh yeah, it's golden. It's perfect. Everything's running great. If you do, kudos to you, man. Then do it. But what I'm telling you is that the majority of you right now, you're stuck with what you got right now. Okay? You're stuck with where you're at. Now, let's look at another scenario just to lay it out some more. Because, like I said, all of our situations are different. Let's say you're living in a home in the suburbs in a big city, and you could purchase a property that you've already been looking at, and you're about to make an offer. You could purchase a property in the country that has everything your city home has on it, plus some additional land out and back. But it's all ready to go. It's fenced in. It might not be off-grid, but you could get animals. Maybe there's a hand pump well out back. Important shit, right? Especially for SHTF. So it's not a turnkey off-grid property, but is it going to improve your situation? And can you make it happen and move your ass in there in a very short period of time? If you can do that, I would say pull the trigger on that as well. All right, dudes. But other than that, for the rest of us, these next 7 to 8 months, it is time to look at our current situation and focus on getting more prepped. Focus on your training. Now is the time, if you haven't been doing it, to get out there and spend some extra time shooting. Here's the thing. Let's talk about shooting real quick, dudes. Because I know a lot of guys on YouTube that are into these channels, man, they're all about the shooting. They're all about the guns. You know, and I get it, man. I get it. I like guns. I'm a dude. You know, I like guns. I like cars with freaking torque, trucks, you know, fast cars, knives, shit like that. You know, I get it. But there's a lot of aspects that you need to focus on survival and prep-wise. But we're going to take shooting because all y'all know about that shit. Dudes, do you need to be a top shooter year-round all the time? No, you don't need to. You don't ever really need to be a top-level shooter to make it through shit hit the fan. You don't have to. You don't have to put 1,000 rounds down range every month. You do need to be proficient. You know, because by spending even an hour a month shooting, you're going to be better than 95% of the population, easily. So if you've let that lull, now's the time to get it squared away. You know what I'm saying, dudes? Now's the time to brush up. Knock the dust off your shit. Hone that skill again. Get good at it again. Like a lot of us. And I'll tell you what, dudes, I've been a little guilty of this here and there. Like for the most part, I'm usually killing stuff pretty regularly. But the last 3 years that I've been out here working as a foreman on this ranch, it's kind of odd to say it, but I've done less shooting than I used to do when I was out like off-gridding it all the time and hunting for meat, you know, to feed the family and shit. I do less of it now. I got my own livestock. You know, I kill bunnies with a club. Whap. You know, chickens just by the head. And my goats and sheep, I do shoot those. I head shoot them with a 22 because it's cheap and it's painless. You know, and I prefer to be as kind to those animals as I can when it comes to putting them down. So I want brain death, you know, usually speaking. Chickens, this is a little bit of a difference. But, you know, I shoot them sometimes with a shotgun. Just go for headshots. At any rate, dudes, you know, I don't do as much shooting as I used to do. So I am taking my own advice right now. I'm getting out. I'm putting more rounds down range. And I'm making sure that there's no dust on my shit so that I can perform well if the shit kicks off in the coming months. Because I suspect that there is a decent possibility that it will happen. Okay, dudes? That's my suggestions, guys. It doesn't need to be a super long-ass video, man. But, you know, hunker down. Hunker down. If you don't have the means to make a quick jump to a better place, like really, really soon, and to make that move rapidly, I wouldn't do it. You don't want to get caught in between spots, you know, and for those of you out there that have a home in the suburbs right now, but you have a remote bug out location that's kind of ready, focus on that right now. Get that more ready. You know what I mean? Look at your entire plan and flesh out the missing pieces right now. And I say the next 7 to 8 months, but really, dudes, you got like 3, maybe 4 months. If things aren't totally out of control by the time late February, early March rolls around, then jump after it. Go get after that undeveloped piece of off-grid property and start working on that. But now's not the time to do it, guys. Okay? Hey, I care about all y'all. I want as many people to make it through shit hit the fan as possible. You guys know how I feel about this. And you know that that's what this channel is about. So I hope you guys understand why I'm making these suggestions. And I hope that you just keep cranking away at your stuff, man. Don't be scared. Don't be fearful of what's coming. Just put your head down and push on. Get your shit ready. Make sure that you and your family are as squared away as they possibly can be. Things will be all right. All right, dudes? That's it. I'm going to wrap it right there. Like always, I like to have a conversation on the channel. So comments down below, guys. What do you guys think? I got some more fun videos coming up. I did my 30-30 Winchester and shit hit the fan. And a lot of comments. Everyone loved it. I know, kind of crazy to talk about an old lever gun cartridge. But, you know, it's going to play its part, dudes. It's all over the damn place. I've got 308 coming and 30-06 as well, and I'm going to keep covering cartridges on YouTube. We're going to get into handgun cartridges and more rifle cartridges and all that. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. But yeah, comments down below about this video. Help us with the algorithm, pimps. Like the video, share the video with somebody that might be making a jump at the wrong time and could benefit from this information. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you get the little alert bell on so you know when I'm dropping new content. Again, check out my Patreon link in the description. And that's it, guys. I'm going to let y'all go. Take care. Get your shit ready, guys. And polish everything up. See y'all in the next one.